Good morning, post-Christmas. It is. You're going the wrong way there, buddy, on your bicycle. Good morning, post-Christmas, day after Christmas, December 26th on a Tuesday. It is gloomy outside. You can see it. A little rainy, foggy. You could barely see our tower there as we head northbound along John Young Parkway, passing the News 6 studio here in just a moment. I'll even let you see it. Hold on. As we cruise on by the big building there. So, first, I'm Steve Montiero, aka Trooper Steve, depending what I'm doing, depending what I go by. Good morning to you. 8:30 in the morning, December 26th on a Tuesday. We're talking turn signals the day after Christmas, nice and easy, but we'll get into that in the next few minutes here. Really hope you guys had an amazing weekend. A lot of people really not even back into the swing of things until next week, really. Roadways are absolutely empty. We haven't had any issues this morning. Unfortunately, yes, there was some serious stuff overnight, but to start our commute off this morning, looking really nice. So wanted to catch up with you guys, see how things were for you this past weekend, whether you were celebrating Christmas with family, friends, relatives, or, just taking it easy like us. We took it super simple this weekend. Had a few people over, went over to a friend's house, got to see my parents, which was really nice. And then Christmas Day, I still have roots. I'm surprised the roots aren't even fully embedded into the ground yet. So we're going to pull over here and talk for a second because I really want to dive into the topic of turning signals. And if you're joining us this morning, that's exactly what we're talking about. Not really a juicy or detailed topic, but something that we all can relate on a little bit when it comes to being either frustrated by people not using their turning signals, or the questions you might have when you're supposed to. What does the law specifically say? And we're going to break that down today. I want to go in detail about what turning signals, what they say, what the law says, and then safe practices, because the question presented is a really good one, actually, because how the law reads direction of travel really made me start thinking about the question being asked. So we're going to dive into what the Florida statute says, and then I'm going to present my argument to you. And we may have a follow-up, maybe with an attorney that could say, Steve, I hear what you're saying, but probably not the best practice. So I'm trying to find a safe spot for us to park in that's not a parking space. I don't like parking spaces when it's just us out here. I like to be able to see what's going on around us just a little bit. So I'm looking for a safe place to pull into. And I think I just found one. Man, perfect. All right, so we're going to get turned around here. So I like to find spots when I talk to you guys that I have 360 coverage, meaning I can see all around the vehicle, but there's only one path to get to me. So I'm in this private road, parked in the back of Zaxby's. Vehicle stopped, so I'm taking my seatbelt off. And we're going to talk a little bit about what Florida law says specifically about the turning signal. If you didn't know, your turning signal is located to the left side of your steering wheel. Every vehicle here in the United States is equipped with one, let alone any vehicle manufactured that is legal on the road. I'm saying it the way I'm saying it because people use it like it's something that we don't use it like it's something brand new in our cars. A few years ago, some troopers with the Kentucky Highway Patrol, brilliant, or Kentucky or Kansas, I can't remember, went viral because he's like, look what I found, and he's found this turning signal. So a turning signal, what is it? It is an indicator, right? It indicates what you want to do to other drivers. If you don't indicate, the other driver has no clue. It is not a force shield. It is not a right of way. It is not a, hey, you have to let me in. It's an indicator. You are being gracious by letting someone know you're also following the law. 316.155 under the 2023 Florida statute indicates all things when signal is required. This is the boring stuff of our stream because it is a little required. When I say certain things, sometimes I want you to understand, sometimes I'm telling you and instructing you and agreeing with what the law says. There are other times I may give you some instruction that supersedes the law. It's never going to undermine it. I never want you to do less than what the law says, but sometimes based off of what we see on the roadways, I'm going to give you a little heads up on what I think you should be doing a little bit more than what the law says. So just bear with me sometimes. Some people were really complaining about my last one over at US 1 and 46 in MIMS because I was saying people shouldn't just dive into these turn lanes even when they're dotted, but the law says you can. Right, that's fine, but I want you to be really careful because I've seen when people mess little things up, how severe the crashes can be. So what does the law specifically say? Let's get bored. Ready? No person may turn a vehicle from a direct course or move right or left upon a highway unless and until such movement can be made with reasonable safety, and then only after giving an appropriate signal in the manner provided, in the event any other vehicle may be affected by the movement. Wow. That sounds like a language we don't even speak, right? So basically saying if you're making movements and there are other cars around, you are required to signal because your movement will affect other traffic. Even if they're on the opposite side, they can see you, right? Subsection 2. A signal of intention to turn right or left must be given continuously during not less than the last 100 feet traveled by the vehicle before turning, except that such a signal by hand or arm, okay, by a bicyclist. So think about it. You're driving down the road, you're cruising, someone suddenly turns. Nope, violation. They should have had that audible, you can hear in your car and you can see it outside, that signal going. You can see I've got a few sets on results 1 back here, but my signal is on. So 100 feet before making your turn. Subsection 3. There's one more after this. 2 more. Excuse me. No person may stop or suddenly decrease the speed of a vehicle without first giving an appropriate signal in a manner provided to the driver of any vehicle immediately to the rear when there is opportunity to give such signal. Subsection 4. The signals provided shall be used to indicate... He snuck up on me. I saw my rear and I was like, whoa, wait, what's going on? The signal provided shall be used to indicate an intention to turn, to overtake, or to pass a vehicle, and may not, except provided in a previous statute, be flashed on one side only on a parked or disabled vehicle, as a courtesy or do not pass signal to operate to other vehicles approaching from the rear. I hope your head's hurting as much as mine. Okay? This is a moving violation. So failure to signal gets you points on your driver's license. Costs you more than $160. I say more than because some is $164, some is $166. But anytime you are moving. So this is the question that is getting me a little bit, right? What was presented to us? The question is, if I am in a turn lane, turning a right turn lane or a left turn lane, do I have to turn my signal on? This is a good one. This is my argument. I say no. Why? Because you're not changing your direction of travel. You're in the designated travel lane that goes a certain way, right? So hear me on this. if I'm driving on a major highway and I'm in a far right travel lane and I see signs that indicate exit ahead, 2 right lanes are exiting there, I, as a trooper, would not write you a ticket if you didn't turn your turning signal on but stayed in that travel lane. Why? Because that lane is designated to go in that direction. Subsection 2, 316.155 says, a signal of intention to turn right or left must be given continuously during not less than or last of 100 feet traveled by the vehicle before turning. So meaning, if we're out and about, I'm in my travel lane, I'm not going anywhere, right? I'm not indicating anything. Up ahead, I want to turn right. Okay, 100 feet prior to it. I have a stop sign before, so I'm going to stop at this stop sign. But the second I let off from this, I'm going to indicate I'm going to turn right. My turning signal is on. I make my complete stop at the stop bar because it's here at the sidewalk. I look left. I wait for traffic to clear. Ease on out. I want to find exactly what this question is because it's really good and I want to present it to you. So here, we're going to turn on to Kennedy out here. My turning signal's on. Obvious, right? So now we cruise down Kennedy. I'm not going anywhere yet. So as we're cruising here, if this was to make a curve in the roadway, left or right, but the lane continues and I stay in it, I'm going to say you don't need to indicate because I stayed in this travel lane. Now, there could be a judge somewhere that disagrees with me, and I'd love to sit there and just let's talk about what I am reading this as I would enforce it on you. I would not write you that ticket. However, if we're out here and say this Jaguar suddenly stopped and made a left turn here without indicating, that would be an improper signal because 316.155 subsection 2 says a signal of intention to turn prior to 100 feet must be indicated. So if we're just cruising down the road here, you don't need to indicate anything because the travel is straight, right? So currently, if you're joining us right now, we're talking about whether a turning signal is needed inside of a turning lane. Like here, for example, I want to go left here. No, we're going to go straight because I want to use different ones. But let's keep going. But as we're here on Kennedy, it's 1 lane in, 1 lane west. If I was to change to any other travel lane right now, a turning signal would be required because I am changing my direction of travel out of my designated travel lane. So I'm still here. If I wanted to go right, I'd put my signal on, but I see that this lane is temp because of Aspire Health Partners here. It's a temp lane to assist with traffic. I'm not going to get into it because it's going to end. So I'm going to stay in this left lane. That lane merges right. Let's keep on going here because sooner or later we're going to figure this out. Keep on cruising. All right, here, for example, we're continue straight on Kennedy. I want to get into the turn lane. I indicate. But technically, if I'm here, the signal would stay on. Okay? Because I am turning on oncoming traffic's coming. But once I've moved into there, because of the oncoming traffic, you want that turning signal on because you are interfering with other traffic. All right, guys, look, here's a good example. Really, okay, get up in the bicycle, get up in the... These should not be out on the roadway, these scooters. They should be up on the sidewalk. Very dangerous. I know it's the day after Christmas, everyone's excited. Hope you guys are enjoying your new toys, but please do it safely. Merry Christmas. All right. So we're along Wymore Road in Maitland here. And if I wanted to turn up ahead, I would indicate. Really, I want to find... The good thing is we have plenty of time to show what I am talking about. If you're joining us this morning on this gloomy Tuesday, I keep thinking it's Wednesday for some reason, but it's definitely not Wednesday. It's Tuesday, day after Christmas. Good morning to you. We're talking signals, when you should be signaling, when you don't have to. But Florida law is pretty clear. Anytime you're going to change direction of travel. So we're up here. I'm indicating I'm going to get into this turning lane. But once I indicate it, most cars stay on. So I'm in the turning lane. I did not want to be in this turning lane because now I'm going to pull into this business and then we're going to have to get out of it. This is what I get. Thanks for stopping. I'm making complete stop there. So, turning signals on. We pull into this business that I didn't want to pull into because now I'm stuck. We'll do a nice U-turn and get on out of here. Signal again. Again, anytime your vehicle is changing direction, you should indicate a turning signal. Every single time. Every time. Not just when it's necessary or when you think, oh, it's a major road. You should get so used to putting your signal on, you're good. Okay, so we're in a through lane. No designated turn lane. I want to head left on Wymore. Turning signal's on. We're on. 90% of cars nowadays, they'll shut off on its own. Alright. We're going to find a double. As long as you indicate your change into whatever lane you're going to be in, that's ultimately what matters here. We get into the left here because the right ends. That would have been a good example. Right there in that right one. Alright, so we're at Hope and Wymore. I can't speak this morning. Parallel in I-4 at the moment. I'm going a little fast there, buddy. We're talking turn signals, the infamous turn signal, the thing that everyone says they know how to use, yet no one uses it. You should be indicating, Florida law says, 100 feet prior to any directional change. Okay, this is a good one. I'm going to indicate I'm going to go right. I'm in the right travel lane. This lane, I can't go straight. What does Florida law say? If any direction of change. But if I'm in a lane that's designed to go this way, do I have to signal? I'm going to say you should. I'm going to say Florida law. You could have a way out. And as a law enforcement officer telling you this, I'm just being as transparent as possible. This is the first time this has been asked to me. And coming out here and physically looking at it really makes you think. I want to head back the other way because it's a little busier. We're off of Southview in the city of Maitland here. Beautiful community. And no outlet, so we're going to get turned around as soon as I can without disturbing anybody's day after Christmas. The problem is when results one backs up, it's so obnoxious that all the lights in the back turn on for safety. So people are like, what the heck is going on? All right, we're getting turned back around, go a little further into Maitland, and check this stuff out. This was a really, really good question because it got my enforcement juices going. It started making me think, would I write you a ticket for something like this? And I think it is very circumstantial. So if we were here along this road, and we were traveling, approaching the traffic light up here, and there were cars in the left turning lane that's designated for them without a signal. I don't know if I'd write the ticket. I really probably wouldn't. Now, if you failed to signal a change into that lane, to me, that would be the violation. And this is us just learning and talking right now together, because I think that's the best part of this. You guys got my cap starting to think, okay, would I give someone a hard time for something like that? And I would say I wouldn't. Now, if I was trying to get into a main lane, like Lake Destiny here. Let's go to Lake Destiny. So say if I was getting in it and I just slid into it, I'm already in it, right? I already did my job and changed my lane. But I could see it being an issue maybe for oncoming traffic. But if we're reading how the law says, I'm going to say you're in the clear. But I do want to bounce this off of a traffic attorney. And I wonder what they would think, because if you're watching with this, stream with me on social media, send me a message, and tell me your thoughts on this, whether you're Facebook, Instagram, whatnot. But I think we would have a solid case. I came in thinking flat out, yeah, of course you have to use your signal. But if you're in that said lane that's designated to turn that way and it can't go any other option, then I could see the window of not necessarily confusion, but not really needing the turning signal. Now, out here, if we're on a main roadway and I was going to go into a plaza, say on the right or left, and even went into a turning lane, I would say your turn signal would be required, right? So like if we were to make a right into whatever the next plaza is, I'm just using plaza as a general term, next private driveway, like this here. I'm going to go right here on Maitland Center Parkway. I'm in a left or the outer turn lane. I'm going to come here to the stop. My signal's still on, but because I'm here, there's other traffic, I would indicate. No sign indicating no right on red, we make the right. But like this one, this was a confusing one. I say that to say this. Left turn lane, I've signaled I'm coming into it. Because there is oncoming traffic I would interact with, I would say your signal would need to be on here as you made your way in. Hope this makes a little sense. At the end of the day, we should just be using the signal all the time, but I do know it's really difficult for us sometimes to simply take our hand and push that lever down. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of focus, and we have so much other things going, like what's for dinner and who liked your last post. Obviously, I'm being extremely sarcastic. It is one of the most easiest things we do in our vehicle. It is in a very handy location. It's there close enough to your steering wheel. And we should be using it all the time. And anytime you're watching my streams, my turning signal is so loud, you should be able to see it. Okay, different. Here, I'm approaching the intersection. I indicated to turn right because there's options out here. So I want to let other drivers know I am going to turn right. There is no indication of no turn on red. I'm yielding right of way. I stopped. I looked left, looked right. No pedestrians were clear. I stay in my designated lane and I continue. Easy peasy. It is a ghost town out here, y'all. Feeling like Applebee's on a late night. I don't even know where I'm at. We're just driving around at this point, Maitland area. Oh, I have an idea. All right, guys. So, day after Christmas, easy topic today, but something that no one does. How many vehicles did we see not using their signal while we're out here? Florida law is very specific. A vehicle shall indicate on their vehicle using their turning signal no less than 100 feet prior to making a left or right or changing direction from their travel lane. The question that was presented was, if I'm in a turning lane or in a turn, am I required? Oh, look at Maitland. Hi, Maitland. Am I required to indicate? I would say in certain situations, no. In certain situations, yes, like this one. It's either straight or left. What are you doing? You'd have to indicate. I want to go left. I'm in a dual purpose lane. I'm going to indicate. If I had to get in this lane from another lane, I'm going to indicate. If the roadway put me here and I wanted to stay here and continue, I'm going to say you would not need it because you're not changing your direction. You're simply following the infrastructure of the road. It's part of when there's a big turn in the roadway and people put their turning signal on. Duh. At least I would hope you're going with the road and not going to just go over the guardrail. So I hope this was a little educational. It was educational for me. Heck. Day after Christmas. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Please slowly get back into the swing of things. I don't need you speeding out here. There were 2 fatal crashes overnight on Christmas. Beautiful bird on that speed sign. Look at that hawk. And we just don't need it. Traffic is super light today. Please, let's keep it that way. If you're headed to the stores, keep your head on a swivel. The Grinches are still out there looking for people who aren't paying attention. Keep your packages hidden, of course. If you see anything suspicious, see something, say something. It's just not a cliche statement. It's legit. Law enforcement, first responders can't be everywhere. And listen, at the end of the day, we shouldn't be relying on our law enforcement to keep us safe. It's our job. So use the signals. Prevent crashes. Love you guys. Wear your seatbelt, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, by the way, I'm anchoring the noon show if you guys want to tune in. So, see you guys.